I'm Rob Moodey, and I'm from Matrox Video.
Rob, this is your first AVoverIPoE event. Tell me how it went for you.
It went really well for us. We've had a number of good discussions from folks who've got different interests and different backgrounds. All, of course, are here because of PoE, which I think was a great initiative, but they've all bringing their own individual slants and needs into what they want to do, and that's playing right into the IPMX idea that's addressing different customer needs. So,
can you tell me a bit more in detail about IPMX?
Right, so it's an alliance. It's not owned by anybody. It's trying to produce an open standard that fully addresses interoperability crossing network bandwidth. So it doesn't matter whether you've got 1, 2.5, 10, 25, or whatever. Different codecs, different needs for compression, different connectivities, and provide a conduit that joins all of those up, so that people don't find themselves backed into a silo where they've got to buy more of that because that's the only thing that's compatible with it. Offering choice, and that's got to be a good thing.
And you had ConvertIP. That's the first time I've seen it working. Tell me what the reception for that was.
So we had a ConvertIP unit on pretty much all of the zones in the show here. So we were streaming desktops, we were streaming videos, we were decoding them, of course. People were very impressed by the latency compared to some of the other, let's say, the software ones, which are inevitably going to be slower. They were impressed that we were on the same network as all these other technologies. They were impressed that it was here now and shipping. You know, that's, all of these things are sort of old wives' tales that, of course, it's not going to work like that. Of course, you can't get it. Of course, it won't do this. All of those things have been very firmly put to bed by people seeing it and seeing it do things. And it was here to show performance. Performance it showed.
And it can only go upwards from here, right?
That depends how you look at it, because it started at the top with uncompressed. That's the bit they did first. And actually, it's not going upwards, it's going downwards. It's working its way down through lightly compressed on a 10 gig, moderately compressed on a 1 gig. And yeah, ultimately it will end up with the highly compressed, which is where the H.264s, the NDIs, all the universal communications live. So it's working its way down towards, if you like, internet quality. And again, so it's working down. It's not working up; it's working down. But the pyramid is wider at the bottom.
And so, how are you seeing adoption in terms of vendor adoption? I mean, I've seen a lot of broadcasts come in, but I'm also seeing interest from outside as well.
From outside the broadcast industry, yeah. Well, it started there because the broadcast manufacturers realised that the broadcasters were seeing their advertising dollars leak online. So they weren't buying as much broadcast kit. The broadcast manufacturers, of course, said, oh, those AV folks, they speak our language, they talk audio and video, don't they? Yes, we're interested in IPMX. That can take the stuff we know about and move it into their market. The big quantum change comes when you get the big AV names like Barco saying, you know what, we can see this as making a difference in control rooms. We can see this as making a difference in medical. We can see this as making a difference in military. And all those different marketplaces are now waking up to the idea that, yeah, actually, we don't have to be single sourced for this. And in some of those markets actively hate being single sourced for anything. Don't like being over a barrel in a crisis. And yeah, interoperability is the golden gateway out of that.
And so, tell me a bit more about AIMS.
So AIMS is the overarching organisation behind IPMX. It was also the organisation that made the proposal to the broadcasters that was ultimately adopted as ST2110. So it too is an alliance of manufacturers, a brains trust if you like, that addresses particular problems. And in these instances, it's all been network related and video related.
And so, let's say I'm a vendor. I want to adopt this technology. What's the process?
As a vendor, because it's all open, there's no fees. There's a very minor membership fee, but it's trivial. But apart from that, because everything's open, you just do it. You don't have to ask anyone. Yeah, the standards are published. You follow the standards, and yes, if you follow the standards, you're going to be compatible. That's it. There's no requirement to buy their chips or their intellectual property. That's the value of being an open standard.
And tell me, what's the future? What's coming up, let's say, at ISC for Matrox Video?
I think you will see the inevitable improvements in any product. More stability, more bug fixes, more SKUs. There'll be some new SKUs from us at ISE. We got some interesting announcements which are cooperations with another very well-known company that will become apparent very shortly. But that will be the first public outing, I think, for those. So let's see. Matrox is very firmly enjoying the fact that we're all getting back together again for exhibitions.
One of the things I wanted to kind of discuss for here is one of the themes of this event is about collaboration between vendors, and this is something that obviously being involved with, the IPMX. That's something that you've done. What's the view then from Matrox about working with strategic partners in that way?
I think in this industry, as in many other industries, you can't get by without partners. You can't get by without testing each other's products, making sure you understand how they work, recommending each other's projects. This is part of working together. The integrators want the reassurance that we do work together, and we do. Then they want the evidence that we work together. They see that here. This is a good example of everybody helping each other out. Let's see, it's the same in the events industry. And actually, if people say, "Oh, I've used my last cable, I've used my last LED, or whatever," borrow mine. You can pay me back next event. And that sort of thing happens. Good reason for interoperability. Can I borrow an AV codec? Oh no, I've only got the other brand, mate. You don't want that. Interoperability. It's everywhere.
And so, one last question. Where can people find out more about the Matrox Video line?
The easiest way to find out what we're doing is to look at the website. Of course, you can follow us on LinkedIn, of course. Or hey, just give me a call on LinkedIn or on the phone, or send me an email. I'm one of those who will talk. Don't charge.
Rob, it's been a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're all really happy that you guys joined us.
Our pleasure to be here. Looking forward to the next one.